Well, we're working Jake overtime this week, which is week 14 for fantasy football players who are in playoff mode. No bye weeks. We start with quarterbacks. What about those who have now benched Carson Wentz? Do you start Jalen Hurts against that monster defensive line of the Saints?
Yeah, it's a very worrisome matchup on the good side for Jalen Hurts in his own right. Now, he's concerning a little bit as a passer. He needs some development in the NFL. He's going to take some risks similar to Jameis Winston on the other side, who's not playing. But if you look at him for the rushing upside alone, he's somebody that if you told me he was starting all 16 games of a season, could rush for 900 yards like Kyler Murray, or I should say as Kyler Murray used to be running. So for fantasy purposes, that's very appealing because the rushing yards are more valuable than the passing yards and the passing touchdowns. So I would say that if you lost Carson Wentz, it's easy to go to Hurts. If you've been relying on somebody with a tough matchup like Phillip Rivers, who's also dealing with an injury right now, you could even go for Hurts. He has a very low floor, a lot of risk, but he's got a lot of upside with those legs.
Derrick Henry was terrible last week, but not so bad you'd give up on him, right?
No question about it. And he's got one of the three best schedules going forward for all running backs, one of the best matchups this week. Derrick Henry is not going to be amazing every single game, but even in his worst game, he's still a top 20 running back. So this week, bounce back. He's inside my top 5. I would expect him to get back to 100 rushing yards and a touchdown. It's a gravy matchup this week.
Now, we know that you don't mess with Rodgers, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, but what about Taysom Allen against the Eagles? That could be a tempting starter.
Yeah, Hill's been really good running the ball. If you look at it, he's kind of like Cam Newton, rushing for touchdowns every single game. And he threw the ball well for the first time this season. Drew Brees sounds like he's out for at least one more week, if not longer. He fractured a lot of ribs there, so it's understandable. But at this point, he's essentially like their other running back alongside of Alvin Kamara. So with his upside, we talked about Jalen Hurts, similar rushing upside, but we actually seen him throw the ball and do so well, and he's on a better team right now. So, yeah, I would actually start Taysom Hill is probably close to a top 10 quarterback right now.
And finally, your playoff sleepers for this week.
I think a lot of people don't want to use Giovanni Bernard, but it's a great matchup. We just saw how easy it is to beat the Cowboys defense in the running game. So you're talking about volume. It's a great situation for him as an RB2, which top 20-25 running back. And then DJ Chark for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's first game back with Mike Glennon. Weren't on the same page the entire time, but Mike Glennon's been very aggressive downfield, throwing the ball 20 plus yards downfield multiple times a game. DJ Chark's a big play waiting to happen. I think if you're looking for that upside in the first round of your playoffs or to get into your playoffs, go ahead and put DJ Chark back in your lineup one more time.
Thanks, Jake. We'll be back with you in a few.